This week on Hermitcraft.
Hello, Green. On the desk in front of you, you will find a document we hope you will find and have found yourself and have found your document and have found your seat. Oh, yeah, Not enough progress has been made. We have called it, as such, get back to work.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is Loy XP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. And if you are waiting for the permit office to install some moving stairs, this is your week, because things are escalating. Management seems to have gotten involved, and the new regulations are definitely not regular. We've gone from radio silence to SOS messages from the world border. But if you've watched Doc M at all this week, you'll know that's a bigger problem for some people than it is for others. It's the biggest problem for the NoPo, who have decided to make it their job to oppose the permit office, meaning they're now on a deadline to destroy it before it collapses in on itself.
Now, my initial idea here, let's just kill them.
So before any of that happens, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with iJevin, who, after much fuss and threats have been done, assembles the anti-permit brigade for their first meeting in the new and improved permit office headquarters. They improved it by throwing a brick through the door.
Is that like a Mumbo-style entry?
That is, in fact, a mumbo. Listen, welcome to the first annual meeting of people who meet.
First annual? We're going to meet annually?
Oh, yes.
Once a year.
Once a year.
With the one day approaching when the permit office ever actually does something, April 1st, mark your calendars, the Resistance is working on a time limit, so Jevin, Vintage Beef, Joe Hilt, and XB Crafted have to come up with a Fool's Day proof plan for their actions.
Let's just kill them.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna hear you out, but I'm not sure I'm gonna agree.
Their daydreaming is interrupted when Joe Hills characteristically reminds the group that a political problem requires a political solution. So they decide to first and foremost seek a mediator sympathetic to their cause, who the other side would also listen to. And they choose Etho, since his rocket shop makes for some great blackmail in case he refuses to cooperate.
I mean, the way I see it is if we get them into a rhythm of expecting to meet with us and not be murdered, it's an even bigger surprise when they are murdered at the meeting after that.
Jevin then has not one but two collabs with Cubman135, who is the head permitter of the server, but that fact never comes up because Revolution Jevin has the same working hours as the permit office.
Do you prefer Silk Touch or Fortune?
I usually do Silk Touch, but you know, whenever you're mining Fortune, I actually have both on me right now.
Yeah, I think the normal Minecraft player tends to keep both on them.
Admittedly, his career of a Minecraft YouTuber comes first, and he needs to build up a raid farm to someday help with his server-long dream of creating a puzzle maze minigame. A fine place to put his puzzle minotaur, if anything.
Now, I've had this idea for a maze game. Finally kind of got to the point where I'm like, okay, I actually think I can make this.
Say what you will about NoPo, it'll be no Joe if they don't manage to bring back the server's favorite Taskmaster clone. And for once, we're not talking about is that sheep looking at me.
I'm Joe, and I would like to play more Permit Master.
Fair. Fair.
Yes.
Joe's idea to fight bureaucracy with bureaucracy evolves into IDK guys maybe activism, with the other ideas on the table being, what if we eat the rich and give everyone else a club card?
Listen, I brought the ideas, guys. What do you... Okay.
While all these secret meetings and less secret TCG matches have been ongoing, Joe has been working on the Holmdel campus's central building, so when this whole thing goes full severance, at least they'll have something they can use as the Lumen HQ.
Which, people are like, Joe, when's the grand opening gonna be? Well, it was supposed to be months ago, so the answer is as soon as possible.
When XB Crafted isn't backing up his fellow NoPo operatives, he's back at his base working on the next circular expansion to the Ocean Monument Industrial Complex, which just got more industrious thanks to melon and pumpkin farms built on the upstairs floor of the Woodland Mansion, supplying the much-needed fruit and veg to the farmer traders on the floor below. He's even got cactus in there, although it's just acting as the garbage disposal if the system overflows with produce while he's draining the next waterlogged cylinder.
I got both of the trash systems put in place now. Again, super simple, but it doesn't need to be anything.
Vintage Beef also has plenty of cover stories if he's questioned about NoPo activities. His permit-friendly shop has been doing a lively trade in basalt, for one thing. For another, his card game career continues at a great pace, with a handful of TCG matches under his belt and a third-place finish in the first round of Doc M77's epic poker tournament. If he needs to lie low, he's also got the Stronghold base to fall back on, where he can even self-imprison if necessary.
You guys are going to get lost in here so fast.
The sad truth about the no-pose situation is that the Hermitcraft permit office did already come under fire, just from even higher levels of the permit office. Grian's video begins with another Grian serving him up some documents about the Permit Office Exile program, while Grian's video ends with the same Grian telling him they will be relocating the Hermitcraft server spawn point to somewhere.
Where? Details can be found in your folder.
This is of course a significant threat to anyone who hasn't played this game a single day in their entire life and has no idea that beds exist. For his penance, Grian agreed to give his comments exactly what they want when they beg for more grain on the server. The wheat field up front his base is expanded into the sea and over the isolated island in the middle of Gemini Tay's fishing river.
They don't call me grain for nothing. They don't call me grain
To contrast the bready sea of yellow, Grian then races a valley oak over the field just so Gem doesn't get a monopoly on custom trees either. And then the rest of the video is taken up by him and Pearlescent Moon trying to fix Tango Tech's redstone, which we would get more into since they do actually successfully fix it. If not for the fact that it's so convoluted, I'm not sure what got broken in the first place.
Hold on. Wait for it. It's good. Those things gotta run out.
Redstone genius.
That's the most stress I've ever been in my life.
There is, however, someone on the server who could force the permit office to do their job, and that's False Symmetry, who, yes, still holds the wildcard permit that she won all the way back in the beginning of the season. However, she's not too eager to play it, and will be a little too busy for that for a while now, for, one reason or another. The, looming presence aside, False actually opened up her base to a whole new landmass now by connecting her personal islands to the mainland with a rope tram that crosses the custom river. Though it's not entirely clear how one is meant to get to it at the moment, the build actually features a nice bit of accessibility where the top of the tram rail doubles as an actual minecart rail for whoever forgot their elytra that day.
Whee!
Though just pretending that it's not there probably won't help, so let's actually address the monstrous form above her base. Go away! And that was me addressing it. In case you were wondering, the pink grimace built at the Falsian Island is indeed a British thing, and it's a reference by Zombie Cleo to that time some TV comedians convinced someone that a sleep paralysis monster is actually a beloved children's mascot. It's also a reference by Zombie Cleo to the time False and Rendog covered Cleo's base in tree resin.
Why are you like this? Just in general. Now I can hear a lot of you saying, what is Mr. Blobby? And for those of you who say that, I say, you sweet summer child.
The pineapple of friendship did not protect False from retaliation, so the spectre haunting Britain will have to be part of her skyline for a while now.
What does it look like from the back? Oh my god, that's... Okay, that's worse.
What's funny is that Cleo also visits the Season 2 world download in their video, hoping to get inspiration for their part of the Metro Mayhem minigame. And that too was a season where they moved spawn and made 2 different spawn towns. Admittedly, they failed to fulfill any permits in that one either, so I guess the Exile got them.
I genuinely can't remember who did the Cleo is bad sign. I want to say Jevin, but I'm not sure that Jevin was even around then.
Good Times with Scar was not around the server back then, but he decides not to risk it and actually opens his all mobs shop, especially since the orders have already been piling up. The shop is of course already here, all it needs is some interiors and the guy to run it, which is why Scar makes sure to fill the spot with every biome he can fit there, so once he gets some monsters for display, they'll feel right at home.
Oh, not them again. Oh, hi friend, thank you. Up, and they're gone.
The head on a plaque trophies might not help with it, but that's why he's only putting them into the actual office. Really, the Poacher Baron vibes only increase with the Bone Throne and the suit top with cargo shorts combo, but at least he's not yet selling chickens with villagers on them, despite all the life hacks Zedaf has taught him.
My only stipulation is that you have to take it back to your base. I'll help you, but you got to get it back safely.
For the 3rd time. How?
Meanwhile, there's Mumbo, who is still working towards putting himself inside a chicken's brain.
I think it fits in with all the surroundings and things. I like it a lot.
Although he's still playing chicken with the permit office, he's more interested in adding widgets and greebles to his big computer, which might aesthetically look like steampunk Grumbot, but under the hood it's a lot more sophisticated. For one thing, the right arrangement of copper bulbs and redstone components allows it to look in all different directions, including directly into your soul.
Oh, how do I explain this? Here it is. I'm very much enjoying just sitting here watching this thing.
But in case you were concerned this computer was going to go full villain mode, don't worry, Mumbo's made sure it has a heart. So either this is going to be incredibly ironic later, or we've gone full companion cube.
That was grumbly, smelly, and generally unpleasant.
While Mumbo's supercomputer goes steampunk, the cogs are now turning in Impulse SV's cyberpunk city. Apparently the thing stopping them from turning was a cactus Gemini Tay had to fish out of the Bop and Go machine, so you heard it here first, cactus is the new potato.
I told you I'm poor. I told you when I paid you I don't have money.
I feel bad even taking this from you, you're so poor.
Impulse also repairs the damage to the dropper building because now it's time to start the interior, and we couldn't risk people dropping out the side, could we? That's even less likely now they have stuff to look at while they fall to their death, an aspect Impulse demonstrates a few times after he's installed this Fifth Element-inspired vertical train.
So yeah, that'll all get covered up, and I think it's going to look really cool.
The walls get some more decoration and will soon be made to resemble futuristic apartment block exteriors, despite being inside a futuristic apartment block. So in case you want something to prevent your brain from turning inside out, you can always tune into Impulse's second channel for the full VOD of his TCG match against Gemini Tay. What you can tune into Gemini Tay's main channel for is a list of many Hermit's favourite colours. Gem decided to conduct a census to see if she can guess at least 2 of them, and that turns out to be a much harder task than you think, because Mumbo, for example, can't guess his own one either.
Don't panic, it's just...
Oh my goodness. No, I'm panicking now. I can't even think of a color.
What?
I literally can't even think of a color.
Mumbo!
No, it's just like,
Though her own favourite is the colour of the sea, because that's what you do with colours. As such, Gem toils with her fisherman village, trying to bring life to the one empty spot down the middle of it, between the lampposts and whatever fishing huts she can fit. And Gem, you can't complain that the streets lack life, and then complain at the wandering trader that spawned on top of the power line.
The village is also certainly coming along, although I'm gonna have to put that research into action, and, well, we're gonna have to add some more life here, which...
Any creature appearing at Joel Smallish Beans' base, of course, risks far greater fall damage, and this trend doesn't let up even when he builds the one spot actually connecting the cascading streets to ground level. Of much interest here is the one billboard saying "Hi Impy," since this part of the base is facing Impulse SV's own city, but it's still a very interesting way to call your neighbour a demon. Of even more interest is the dirt block structure that Joel converts into a holographic display of, well, whatever that shape is, by meticulously replacing every block with an upright end rod or a coloured candle. Shaders or not, this is a really impressive way of making it look like your GPU is malfunctioning.
The FPS when I look at it's not great. It's just weird, isn't it?
And finally, there's Doc M77, who previously had a monopoly on sending people directly to the world border, but he might just have the get-out-of-jail-free card the server needs. Setting up some wireless redstone we saw him tinkering with in Season 9, he combines it with an Enderpearl stasis chamber to create a system that will let him warp to any other chamber where he's built the same contraption, effectively dialing an IP address like he's on the Stargate TV series now. I mean, he literally sets up the first example inside the pyramid of sand in his hourglass, so you can see how we've made that connection.
Triggering the teleportation to spawn. Yes! Oh my god, it's working. It's working.
But that's not the only connection he makes. After a bit of troubleshooting, he sets up another system that will send a wireless signal to farms, allowing him to activate them remotely anywhere on the server, and even send a signal back confirming the farm is switched on.
It's weird, crazy technology, and yes, look at that. Haha. The signal transmission was a success.
A system that relies on this many pearls could always use one more, so he calls Pearlescent Moon to explain it and to request a mailbox, because now he can just teleport to it to get his mail.
Somewhere close to the post office. You want a mailbox close to the post office?
Yeah, because I'm gonna build a system with this that's gonna remotely notify me if I got mail, and then I get teleported there. Then I pick up my mail and then I teleport back home.
Now that the server has disabled the game rule where enderpearls despawn on player death, this pretty much guarantees that Doc won't even need a bed to set his spawn point anymore. He just needs about a stack of diamond ore, a bunch of redstone components, and a cat. But in case the permit office decides to crack down on his pale oak sales, which have been going incredibly well by the way, he'll be able to walk back from the world border even faster than a pig in a boat would get him there. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.